Hey, I'm Greg, and I've had a career burnout. Today, I would like to talk about two emotions that I struggled with and still do struggle with, particularly since being burnt out and leaving work, and they are guilt and shame. So please stick around, as I'd really like to hear what you have to say. As I discussed in the intro, today I'd like to talk about two complex emotions, and they are guilt and shame. And to be honest, until now, I wasn't really 100% clear on the difference myself. However, I do have two great definitions I'd like to share with you. Guilt is basically saying to us that I'm not happy about this situation because of something that I did or something that I didn't do. Now, we're pretty well versed on how to deal with this emotion because it may take some time, but we will reflect and we'll acknowledge that, hey, I have limitations, or even I'm not perfect. And then we'll put some sort of corrective measures in place to fix the situation. Now, shame is very different because it's not as easy to rectify as guilt. Shame says that I'm not happy about a situation because of me, because of who I am or who I'm not. And it's very difficult for us to know what, therefore, to do with shame. And often we don't really know what we're ashamed about. And so we're just carrying around this shame, but that has really nothing to do with us as a person. And more so, it tends to attract bad or negative or unhealthy behaviors. So we might overcompensate or look for punishment. Basically, we're saying to ourselves that we're not good enough, we're not worth it, and therefore we have to do more than the average person, or we should be punished for the situation. So it just becomes extremely exhausting. Now, in my situation, I was completely overwhelmed by what I thought was guilt. And it wasn't really until I'd sat with my therapist that I realized that it was change. It was because I felt that I wasn't good enough as a person, and I felt terrible about leaving my colleagues. I felt terrible about leaving my company. We had a number of half-finished projects that we were working on, and we were trying to achieve deadlines. There was a lot of stress. There was a lot of work that now was going to be put onto people who, already had a huge workload, and it just completely consumed me. And I wasn't able to step out and look at the bigger picture. Like I said, this was really frightening. It was paralyzing. When I saw people on the street who I work with, I literally burst into tears because I wasn't able to keep my emotions in check. And what I realize now is that, by being able to step out of that situation when it occurs and look at the bigger picture, I can realize that actually I'm a complex person. There's a lot of other things that are going on in my life apart from this particular situation and the feeling for that situation. And that, in fact, I've done, a million times more good than this, and this situation, which is really out of my control now. And I guess that's something that I'm going to be working on a lot. It's about really understanding the general criteria and acknowledging that it's a will, and I do have a choice to either step away from it and to move forward, and to accept it for what it is, or to stay in that mess. And that's certainly something that I don't want. So I'm very interested to hear your experiences and to have a further discussion. So I really do encourage you to please leave a comment below. And secondly, do subscribe to the channel. There's so many more videos that I intend on making to discuss the burnout and everything that I've been through this last year. And it's really a nice way to support each other. So thank you.